Am I the asshole for canceling a weekend plans after I was told to mentor a boy? I had a very brief relationship with a woman named Carla that resulted in the birth of my now 8-year-old son Ashton. I'm gay and had never been with a woman. In fact, I had never even kissed one until I met Carla. She had just gotten a divorce from her husband, Chris, because he wanted kids and she didn't. My relationship with Carla didn't last and confirmed that I'm definitely gay. We were both shocked that she got pregnant though. Anyways, we agreed to co-parent and signed a custody agreement that pretty much splits custody. Also, there is a first right of refusal in that agreement. Carla and Chris reconciled and remarried when Ashton was 4. Personally, I like Chris. He is very good to my son. My son hugs and kisses him just as much as he does me. Chris doesn't turn down any chance to spend time with Ashton. I don't have to worry about Ashton if Chris is there because he'll get him where he needs to get, bath him, feed him, and he has endless patience. I really like that my son has these hands-on male caretakers. Carla was scheduled to have Ashton from Thursday to Sunday of this week. She mentioned that her cousin was in hospice and she was flying to another state to be with her. I said you can't take Ashton out of state without my written consent. She said she wasn't taking him. Chris was going to watch him. I told her that this was news to me. We agreed that if either of us is unavailable then the other parent needed to be notified and given the option to pick up more custody time. I'm obviously not going to turn down more time with my kid. She said that Chris had planned a 4-day vacation to a water park. I said I don't care. She said, you know what? Talk to him then. I got enough on my plate right now. So I did, and Chris said he didn't see the big deal and joked there wasn't enough Ashton to go around. He then seriously suggested that I become a big brother so that he could spend more time with Ashton. I told him he got me fucked up and now I'm canceling this water park trip. He told me he was joking but he wasn't. He asked me to go parent another kid so he can parent mine. I was taken aback by it. So Ashton is with me and I feel bad for Chris. I really do. But between that comment and not going through me when Carla was going out of town just angered me. I feel like I've been too nice. Edit. My son does not know about the water park. It was going to be a surprise. And to be honest, this boy has been to several amusement parks this summer so it wouldn't be new to him. Edit. If Carla and Chris had ran it by me then 85% chance I would have said yes. Edit. Chris did apply to Big Brothers twice. He was rejected once for not being Jewish. It was Jewish Big Brothers, and the other time was for several reasons. He wanted a little one when they only had teens, etc. Edit. Chris doesn't care that I'm gay. He loves my son who has gay genes in him. Edit. Carla said that being pregnant was the worst experience of her life and nothing like what you see on TV. So she got her tunes tied before's remarrying. Edit. As to why I'm being selfish, Ashton has already taken 2 vacations with his mom and Chris. They spent 2 weeks in Greece in June and took a week-long cruise in Cabo last month. We're in our 8th week of summer and they've had him for 6 of those weeks. I have been very accommodating. Now I'm expected to give up more of my time? I'm wondering if Chris is infertile and this was all a convoluted plan to have a baby. Not the asshole, you are Ashton's father and you have an agreement for right of refusal and Chris needs to understand that he is not Ashton's father. Obviously doesn't mean he can't be part of his life and be a great stepfather, but you are his father and have split custody and have an agreement. As others have mentioned, you should definitely have a talk with Carla after she gets back and has time to de-stress. Give her a week or so, but both of them may need a reminder that you are Ashton's father and deserves to spend time with him, especially more than Chris. Is it just me or is the title completely unrelated to the post? Not the asshole. I'm desperately fighting for the first right of refusal. My wife doesn't get that my daughter isn't a burden to me, and I jump at the chance for more time with her. She just wants to drop her wherever it is convenient for her. Not the asshole. Is anyone going to raise the flag about just how much effort Chris puts into being around children? Children of any gender require love and affection. But with the edits mentioning that this man had applied to Big Brother twice already, with the goal of being around kids, little ones specifically, as he refused any teens, and how much he just loves Ashton. Maybe it's my own history giving me the heebie-jeebies, but this just doesn't feel 1000% about paternal love for your son. Am I the asshole for telling my sister I need to see proof of the gift she's giving my daughter? I, 38M. Have a daughter, Daniela, who is turning 12 next week. Over the past few years, my sister, Chloe, 32F, has made grand promises on Daniela on her birthday and then falls through. The first came when Daniela was 9 and Chloe promised to take her to her first Broadway show. I checked with Chloe a couple of times that she could actually afford it, actually wanted to take a 9-year-old to the city, we live about an hour away, etc. Chloe promised up and down it was all good. Then, 2 days before the show, she said plans changed and she sold the tickets. Daniela was naturally devastated, but Chloe tried to make it up to her by taking her out to dinner the following week. For Daniela's 10th and 11th birthdays, a similar thing happened. The 10th, Chloe put an IOU in the card and basically told Daniela she could cash it in for one of a few activities. Daniela would text Chloe throughout the year, asking when they would do it, but Chloe always had an excuse. Eventually, the year ended with nothing being done. Daniela said that she didn't care about not getting a gift, but it was disappointing to be promised something then have it taken away. She actually talked to Chloe about it and Chloe apologized. The 11th birthday was the worst example in my opinion. Chloe promised she would take her the following weekend to an amusement park that Daniela really wanted to go to. Daniela was so excited, but Chloe continued canceling on her until the amusement park closed for the season. It should be noted that these things Chloe promises, is stuff out of my budget most of the time. I did end up doing 2 of activities that were on the IOU, but things like a Broadway show as well as the amusement park tickets were not something I could afford. I did save up to bring Daniela this summer and she had a ton of fun, but I know it was disappointing for her last year. Chloe apologized, but Daniela was less receptive to it that time. This year, Chloe told me she wanted to take Daniela to New York overnight to see a show. I asked for proof this was booked. Chloe said she would do it once she figured out a time they could go. I said no. No more of this. She doesn't have to give Daniela anything at all, but if she does, it needs to be something planned and something she doesn't intend to back out of. No more IOUs. If she wants to gift these things, they need to be booked and non-refundable so I can see that she isn't going to back out. Chloe promised this time would be different. I said, okay, then do as I asked. Chloe said I was being unfair and holding the past against her. She also said I can't control what she gives my daughter for her birthday. Some members of our family have backed her up, saying Chloe is harmless and Daniela needs to understand sometimes things don't work out. I pointed out my daughter knows that lesson very well as she lost her mom young and the only consistent woman figure she has, her aunt, keeps letting her down. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole, but do not let Chloe take your daughter out of town for an overnight. Her behavior history does not seem to support that your daughter would be well taken care of. And Chloe is giving a gift to your daughter, just not the intended one. Your daughter is learning what kind of person Chloe is. Sounds as if she has already figured that out. Not the asshole, your sister is too flighty to do overnight trips with a 12-year-old. And yes, you can decide whether or not a person can do an overnight trip with a 12-year-old. Not the asshole. After years of people making promising they couldn't keep to me, I learned not to get my hopes up for anything and now resent the family members who didn't come through on the promises they made. Not the asshole. She's teaching a horrible lesson of don't trust promises and don't trust anything your aunt says. How awful for a child to be promised nice things to have them never come true. It's like Chole wants to be the nice aunt but can't actually afford, doesn't want to do any of it. Not the asshole. My mother's older sister used to do this to us. I was one of 3 sisters and she would promise to take us out swimming or to the fair, and let us down every time. I'm now in my 50s, and she's dead, and I still remember how upsetting it was, and it definitely affected our adult relationship, which was non-existent, because she never changed. You're quite right to protect your daughter like this. Chloe isn't harmless. She's selfish, untrustworthy and lazy.